I'm Hollie Taylor. I'm with Joy Radio in Toronto, Canada.
Canada, where we filmed the movie.
Amazing. Dallas and Kevin, so lovely to meet you guys. Actually, Dallas, I had a chance to meet a couple of your co-writers from The Chosen.
Yes.
And they were incredible people. They came up earlier on in the spring. And so taking a look at, Kevin, your list on just all the different movies that you've been a part of. Dallas, you have this knack for surrounding yourself with really great and talented people. And that can be hard, I believe, in the industry. So how have you been able to do that?
Well, I think I've got good taste. So I think that's a gift God's given me. And I think sometimes God also provides people. This is a book based on a book. This is the actual copy that I read to my kids 20 years ago. And it's such a special story. And it's on the surface a typical Christmas comedy classic. But also it's a story about the birth of Christ and the meaning of it, and the fact that people in poverty might actually be closer to the heart of the story than others are. And so when you've got a story that's that important, I think God brings you people sometimes. And the cast, look, I think I'm pretty good at choosing the right cast and the right crew, but sometimes the decision's easy because God brings you people who are so good they're undeniable. And that happened with the cast, and that happened with the crew of this project. And so I'm very fortunate. And my job as the director becomes easier when I'm just protecting the film from any one person or even myself from intruding on a story that God, I think, wants told to the world. And so this was a truly special moment, even in the filming of it. We filmed it in Canada, and there were some Canadians, cast and crew, who really bought into what I was trying to do and into the beauty of this story and loved it. And so it was a great experience.
Mm-hmm. Now, Kevin, you've been a part of quite a few productions that have been incredible and faith-based. Now you're a part of the best Christmas pageant ever. What made you say yes to being a part of this particular one?
Well, this film is, for me personally, this film's a love letter to my kids. This book means so much to them. My wife read it, being a filmmaker while they were in grade school, so that they could be with me on set. She was homeschooling them, and so this was a book they were reading every year, basically, because they wanted to. And so when all of a sudden it was like, Dad's making this into a movie, they thought I was joking. They thought I was pulling their legs. So it was a lot of excitement, a lot of anticipation. A lot of, I hope Dad doesn't mess this up, and so a lot of pressure, but I'm super proud of the film. I think the film elevates the book, and I love the book, but Dallas did such a good job the casting is incredible. The actors do such a great job. Pete Holmes and Judy Greer and Lauren Graham and all of our kids. They're so talented. You'd never get tired of watching them. As a producer, you watch your film 75, 100 times before it gets out there. And I cry every single time. I laugh every single time at the same spots. I get goosebumps at the same spots. So super proud of this one.
Mm-hmm. Now, Dallas, this was a book that you said that you read to your kids. You've read it. What has made this story stand the test of time?
Well, the story of Christmas stands the test of time. It's been around for 2,000 years. And I think the strength and weakness of it is that it's a beautiful story that's still told, but I think we also take it for granted. We hear it so often. We hear it every year. You turn on the radio and you hear everyone singing Christmas songs. And for any human being, it can eventually become a little bit rote. And maybe even the Christmas Eve services that you go to attend at church, whether you're a visitor or you're a regular churchgoer, sometimes you're like, oh, again, we're doing the same thing again. We're singing Silent Night with the candles again. And maybe it loses a little bit of its magic. And this movie and this book, I think, are so timeless. They capture it so well. If I do say so myself, and I think I'm standing on the shoulders of this great book, is that because it's told through the eyes of kids and through the eyes of kids in poverty and in outsider status, it actually reminds us of the true story. And so that true story of God becoming man, Emmanuel, God with us, unto you a child is born, not as a conquering king, but as a humble servant. That is a message that resonates, and when these herdman kids are hearing it for the first time, they've never heard it before, they're enthralled. As the movie says, they're listening with wide open ears and eyes when they normally don't, because there's something about the truth of this story that is beautiful. And I think that this book captured it, and I hope that the movie does as well. And early responses from those who've seen it in theaters have been overwhelming. And so I think that this is, there's never a bad time for a timeless Christmas classic.
Oh, amen. It's out November 8th, Dallas. And Kevin, thank you so much for taking time to share a little bit about your hearts and more about the film, The Best Christmas Pageant Ever.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you guys so much.